What is going on, guys? Welcome to episode 3 of the Unintended Podcast. I'm here joined by Matthew once again. Hello, Matthew.
Hey Jay, how's it going?
Nothing. How's your week been?
Oh, it's been great. Finished university, been able to play games. I think we're talking about games this time, aren't we?
Yeah, this time we're talking about games, and not only video games, we're going to talk about board games as well, because both of us, we like to play board games, and we play board games every time we get together.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We enjoy playing them, and we have fun. So, what's more important than that?
Indeed, indeed. So, let's start from the past and then move on slowly to the future.
Sounds good.
So, tell me, Matthew, what is one of your favorite games that you have played? Like,
Oh,
ever?
okay, I'll include mostly from my past, maybe. Let's see. Hmm. I was a big PlayStation 2 player. I played a lot of it, not gonna lie. And I really enjoyed the game Ratchet and Clank from the first one to number
Oh
3.
my god. Indeed. Indeed.
I think we all had a part in our childhood where we played that game. I know it's just a awesome game. I haven't played the new ones though. The new ones which came out for PS4 and everything. I have not played. I don't know if
I
they're
think
as
I've
good
played
as.
only one for the PS4, and I cannot remember its name. I think it was something to do with time. And it was going back in time with Ratchet and finding Clank again? I'm not sure. I cannot remember.
But it wasn't as good as before, right?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I remember very vividly that Ratchet and Clank was the first game that I cried to.
You cried too.
Yeah, I was stuck at a part. It was a really easy part. It
Mhm.
was basically you had to jump from a wall to a wall
Yeah.
with the mechanics in game,
Oh, monkey
and it
jumping.
just yeah, and I just couldn't do it.
Oh,
For
okay.
some reason, I just couldn't do it. And back then, I was really small, so it was. I think it was at night,
Mhm.
and both my parents were getting ready to sleep, and I was just stuck there, and I started crying because I couldn't pass the level.
Oh, you must
So
have
my
been.
mother came to me and she said, "Why are you crying? It's just a game." And I was like, "No, it's not just a game. I cannot pass this level." But in the end, I passed it and I started laughing it off because I was very ashamed
You know that
for
thing
my
where
parents.
you're like crying and you used to have tears, but then you start laughing and it sounds like so cringy. Yeah,
Yes,
it's
yes.
so funny. Yeah. How about you? What did you enjoy playing? Like maybe before, in the past.
In my past, I enjoyed playing a lot of Age of Empires. I played Age of Empires on the computer at my villa because I had no friends there, and every summer I had to go there to see my grandparents, and there wasn't anything to do really.
No.
And I played Age of Empires from the morning when I get up. I got up, I went to the beach, and then I went back at home and I played Age of Empires until I fall asleep,
No.
which was like 6 or 7 hours of Age of Empires.
Yeah.
And that was actually really good because I created custom campaigns with the editor back at the time. I'm talking about Age of Empires 2. I played very little of Age of Empires 3, and I've played quite a lot of Age of Empires 1.
Oh, so you probably really enjoy the series.
Yeah, definitely, because you know me, I adore strategy games.
Yeah,
I
that's
played a
true.
lot of Warcraft 3, I played a lot of StarCraft 2 when it came out, and I actually got you into StarCraft 2.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. We started playing StarCraft back a couple. I think it was a year, maybe 2 years ago or something. But then we stopped. But
And
yeah,
then we started again.
yeah, then we started again. Yeah, but it's pretty fun when you have like people to play with. I think it's pretty fun.
Indeed, indeed.
So if anyone's
And
like
of course,
trying
who
to,
hasn't played Minecraft?
oh, of course, Minecraft. That's like,
We even started playing it recently again
that is true.
after what, a couple of years
Oh yeah, yeah. I
when
think
we played for more than a month.
yeah I think this game, uh, you play it as a kid because everybody plays Minecraft as a kid. Whoever you ask has played Minecraft, probably. Like maybe 98% of people have. And it's the game that dies out, but then comes back. So
Yeah,
I don't see.
and
I don't
and
think
they
it's gonna
constantly
die.
update it. Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
it's gonna
That's
be a
true.
very hard game to die.
It's really interesting because everybody get older, but maybe if you have children, they will like playing the game. Because
Yeah, quite
the
possibly
game
because
is
my
pretty old, to be honest. It's like
yeah, because my sister currently, who is very much younger than me, she loves playing Minecraft as well. And it's not like Minecraft is at its peak of interest, you know?
yeah, for
So
sure.
new generations are gonna play Minecraft because well, it's simple enough for a younger generation. You know, you just go there, you have blocks, you start building. But once you actually get a hold of the game, there is so much more to
Oh
do
yeah,
because the game
there's
is
a
becoming more and
storyline.
more
There's everything.
complex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And imagine the game came out 10 years ago. I think it did in 2009, but they're constantly updating it up till today.
Indeed,
So
indeed.
yeah, we pretty much that's what we do from time to time. We we stop playing what we play like every day. I'm not gonna mention that game because that game is yeah, not to be mentioned. And from time to time we're like, hey, you wanna play Minecraft? You wanna make a server and go hop on and play? And we're like, yeah, yeah, sure. We get a couple of friends and just let our imagination flow through the game. It's pretty fun. It's funny, stories come out of that.
Yeah, and a lot of the time we do set ourselves goals. So every time we play Minecraft, every time is different, you know? We either do some amazing starting building and then we continue expanding on it,
Yeah,
or we just make something really quickly and then we start exploring. We start going to the nether and to the end,
yeah,
and just rush on the game very quickly. And every time it's different, and that's because the game is constantly evolving. Even last week it got a massive update with new villagers, raiders, new blocks,
yeah.
a ton of stuff.
Funnily enough, it's a great game. Like what else would you want? It's like a game you play to relax, as well as to have fun. Why not? Why not do
Yep,
both
yep.
as well? It's for old people and for young kids. Anybody could have fun. It's a game, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a game for all
All ages. Yeah,
audiences.
yeah. It's pretty good after you figure out how to make a server and play with friends. I think then it becomes more fun because
Yep.
you get to play with your friends and you challenge everybody to do like to set. You have a set goal. Most of the time, we don't finish our goals because we stop
Yeah.
playing the game. But you know, we started up next year anyway, so why not?
Indeed, indeed. And speaking of Minecraft, there is a game that is bound to launch in an unknown date. Uh, Hightail?
Hightail, yeah.
I think it's
Hightail.
yeah, I think it's Hightail. And Hightail is supposed to be very similar to Minecraft with a lot of new stuff. It's gonna be a lot more RPG focused, and it's gonna have many more things.
Oh yeah, yeah. We signed up to the beta, didn't we? We got
We have
accepted
signed
into
up
it.
for the beta. I got accepted into it, but it still has not released.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm waiting for the game to release, and I'm really excited about it because from what the developers have released, there are going to be a lot of stuff that Minecraft is lacking, like magic and a lot of different armor variants. I mean, in Minecraft, obviously, there's different armors with the different ores, but in Hytale, there's going to be like warrior armors, there's going to be magician robes, and there are going to be so many more weapons in Hytale.
It's gonna be taken to another level of a game.
Definitely, definitely.
So yeah, I mean, it looks good. It looks promising, but lots of games look promising and feel promising, but in
Yeah,
the
but
end
in
they
the
don't
end,
end up promising. Do you know a game like that?
I do know a game,
Which came
and
out
that
recently?
game is Anthem.
Oh,
So,
what happened?
for anyone who doesn't know, I am a massive fan of storytelling games. And when Anthem was originally released, you cannot blame me for absolutely losing my mind about Anthem. The game had an absolutely incredible story idea with shaper gods basically creating the world and then leaving their relics to basically plague the world around the people, around humanity. And that got me really excited. I literally stood and learned everything I can from trailers. I looked at wikis. I looked at what we already know about Anthem, and I was really, really hyped. And like a lot of people, I pre ordered the game, and then I played 5 hours of story mode. And I'm excluding the part where you have to grind to continue the story. I'm excluding that. I had fun for those 5 hours, but then there was nothing. There
But
wasn't any end game. One of the dungeons was basically the last level of the story mode. And, well, obviously, if you're into games, you already know about everything Anthem lacks. So I'm not gonna talk about it here. But I was really excited for the game. You were too.
dude, yeah, when they launched the trailer or the gameplay, I think everybody just, everybody lost it. It was a great experience, at least what they showed. See, I was even thinking of, because it was, because you and me have different consoles. The only thing we share is a computer.
Yeah.
So
You have an Xbox and
I
I
have
have
an
a
Xbox.
PS4.
Yeah, I have an Xbox One, and you have a PS4. To be honest, I don't know. No, I know why I went Xbox. There was Titanfall, which came out, which was exclusive, but
Yeah,
that's a
that
different
was
story.
yeah.
So that's the reason I got an Xbox, because of Titanfall. Everybody else had a PlayStation 4. And to be fair, I had PlayStations up from the first one to the second one. Yeah, up until this point. But yeah, Titanfall was my breaking point, I guess. But yeah, so I was even thinking on getting a PS4 in order to play Anthem together, because you could go in squads and do everything they did in the trailer, which hyped up everybody.
Literally everybody.
And they didn't quite deliver what was.
They didn't deliver at all.
What
And
was
another thing was that everyone was really surprised that Anthem was a multiplayer game, because Anthem is developed by BioWare, and BioWare famously did Mass Effect. They did Dragon Age. All one of the best, like the best single player developing company, in my opinion, apart from Ubisoft. And everyone was a bit surprised that Anthem was multiplayer and still developed by BioWare. And everyone was a little bit shaken because EA was publishing the game,
Loot
which
boxes.
is obviously yeah, but basically everyone was really scared about loot boxes.
But I think they made a promise about that the game's not going to have anything to do with that.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
Yeah, but Anthem went, well, now everyone knows that Anthem went through an incredibly tragic development process. And from the 7 years, or 6 years, pardon, that Anthem was in development, basically the Anthem we have today was in development for around 4 years.
I
Because
think,
the other 2 years, they didn't know what to do.
I think the game went full on No Man's Sky on everybody. It promised a lot of things. It showed a lot of promise, but then at the end it didn't really deliver what they promised.
But similarity, the No Man's Sky, everyone hyped it a lot.
That is true.
Whilst Anthem, everyone was a bit skeptical because it was EA.
Exactly.
And
because it was EA, everybody was skeptical.
And because Anthem was coming out after Mass Effect Andromeda, which on release was a total disaster according to everyone.
Yeah, but you seem to love that game. I think it's your favorite game.
Mass Effect Andromeda is definitely my favorite game because, okay, for everyone who hasn't played the game, Mass Effect Andromeda is basically a new life, let's say. Because I don't want to spoil anything to anyone who hasn't played it. In Mass Effect Andromeda, you basically travel to Andromeda Galaxy to start a new life for humanity. and then a lot of stuff happens that should not have happened. Yes, there were a lot of bugs. It was very incomplete on release, but they fixed it. Throughout multiple patches, they fixed it. And now the game is amazing. And I personally, as a person who absolutely loves story, Mass Effect Andromeda is probably the game with my favorite storyline ever. Because it makes you feel really connected to your character and the way that everything shapes in the game. Anyway,
Yeah, that's pretty much.
let's continue with a game we both love, GTA 5.
Oh, GTA 5. That was. See, that was a game that you could play on any platform. It was not
Exactly.
exclusive to anything. I think we all started playing GTA at a young age. I think everybody's done that. At least
Yeah.
from our generation. At least most of us has played, starting from Grand Theft Auto, San Andreas, or Vice City.
I think
we
most
grow
people
from
played San Andreas first,
Yeah.
and then they played Vice City.
Funnily enough, Vice City was older. I think Vice City.
Yeah, Vice
was-
City is older than San Andreas.
Yeah. So I think everybody started, or at least everybody's played San Andreas with the ongoing meme at the moment. But what
Ah,
are you
shit. Here we go again.
gonna- Yeah. I think everybody just
Yeah.
visioned that thing right now. But yeah, the
Yes.
GTA. Actually, in all clarity, I haven't played the
The
full
fourth one.
game of GTA 4, which is Liberty City, I think.
Hmm.
Yeah, I played parts of it, but I didn't play the whole thing. So
I haven't played it at all, even though a lot of people consider it to be one of the best GTAs.
yeah, but I think GTA 5 was, I think, their biggest success up until
Yeah,
now.
definitely GTA
With the
5
online
was the
mode, I
biggest.
think. I mean, I'm not an online player. Some people are, but I enjoyed the story as well of the character development and the whole story based on the
Definitely,
game,
definitely.
which was great. Changing 3 characters at once, that was great.
Definitely, and it really made it look really good. Because obviously now there are many mods that enhance how the game looks, and it just looks absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
But when it released, it looked amazing as well.
Yeah, yeah. No,
It
it was
looked
when it just came
com-
out. It was brand
it
new
looked
for the brand
perfect.
new consoles. Yeah, it was great. And now,
And like even the races in the game are better than some racing games
Oh, yeah.
as a whole.
that is true. That is true. But I don't think anything comes to quality like to Forza, which
Forza
is-
Horizon.
Yeah, I don't know. The quality is just good. It just looks like
I haven't
nearly-
played it. I really wanted to play it,
it
but I haven't.
looks very close to lifelike. It's just not there yet, but I think it's the game that's probably closest.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Forza Horizon exclusive to Xbox?
Actually, yeah, it is. It's one of
Yeah,
the,
exactly.
Yeah, one of the.
So maybe that's why I haven't
Yeah,
played it.
I'd assume so. Yeah. But anyways, back to GTA. They recently leaked some information about the new GTA, which we know after Rockstar Productions made Red Dead Redemption 2
Mhm.
this year, which I don't know if it was a big hit with everybody.
Just okay. Let me just jump in here and tell you a really quick fun fact. Did you know that before Red Dead Redemption 2, the game with the most sales at release date was GTA 5? And after Red Dead Redemption 2, the game with most sales on release date is Red Dead Redemption 2. So Rockstar beat their own record of most sales on release date.
It's pretty interesting. I don't know. I think
Indeed.
everybody were hyped for that game, but maybe again didn't get what they wanted. I don't know. I didn't really get it, so I didn't really try it out.
About the Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are very disappointed at the multiplayer of the game because obviously I say it's in beta still, but it's been in beta since release, and a lot of people are very mad at it and I'm not sure why, because the game itself has more than 200 hours of playtime because it's been in development for 12 years.
Yeah.
And now people are complaining because there isn't multiplayer, but the game, in my opinion, wasn't originally designed for multiplayer.
No.
Of course, it is a part of it because GTA 5 multiplayer is a massive success,
Yeah. I
obviously.
think they're still like making every. I think they're really supporting that GTA 5 online.
Yeah, definitely.
They're really supporting it.
Yeah, definitely. It has a lot of updates, especially recently because I watch the Oxcast and they play a lot of GTA 5 races.
Okay.
And sometimes they talk about updates and stuff, and sometimes I log into the GTA 5 servers just to see my character who looks like Ghost from Call of Duty, but we're gonna talk about that in a minute. And it has a lot of cool updates. They continuously put in the game
Oh yeah,
a
for
lot of
sure.
new cars. I don't think though they have put any new heists, which is a bit sad because
Yeah.
heists were the thing that I was personally most excited for. By the way, I still haven't completed the last heist. The heist. Never
Oh.
mind about that.
Well. I won't tell anybody. You know.
Yeah, but there are a lot of new cars, which I think that you are going to be excited about because obviously you know a lot more about cars than me.
Uh, yeah, pretty much. But in all honesty, now after Rockstar Productions launched Red Dead Redemption, they can look towards making GTA 6, which I'm a big fan of the whole series of Grand Theft Auto in a whole.
Yeah, I
So
think a lot of people.
yeah, I'm really excited. And when I heard that news that some information about the game got leaked, I got really excited. So yeah,
I
that was
personally have not seen a lot of leaks about games that I am excited about
oh
because I'm mostly excited about, for example, what was it called? Yeah, Total War Three Kingdoms,
yeah
which is the next Total War historical part of, well, the Total War series. I was very excited about The Division 2 because I
okay.
was a massive The Division fan. But I'm like a fan of everything that Ubisoft does. So,
Except the last
ah,
Assassin's
yeah,
Creed.
except the last. Oh,
I think you really got disappointed there, to be honest. You personally,
no,
because you're a big fan of the whole series, and
yeah,
I think you even liked the movie, which the movie
yeah,
wasn't bad, to be
yeah.
honest.
I've played every single Assassin's Creed game. I love every single Assassin's Creed game except Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And for a lot of people, it's one of the biggest current successes of Assassin's Creed. And I get why. I'm not mad at neither Ubisoft nor the people for liking the game. I am mad at the fact that the game contradicts itself.
Yeah.
It basically, for those that do not know, in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, you can pick to be either a man, I think he was called Alexios, and or a woman, but I cannot remember her name. And in Assassin's Creed, you never had the option to pick two characters because you in Assassin's Creed the game tells you that for you to play with those assassins or for you to experience the life of those assassins, it has to be in your DNA. And by giving the players options to be either one character or another, it basically doesn't feel as personal as it did before. Because with Desmond, you basically have the DNA of Ezio, you have the DNA of Altair, and you get very personal with those characters because there is only one Ezio, there is only one Altair, there has been only one Arno. Like all of the assassins that you could play with, there's only one of them. And in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, it basically says, well, there are two assassins. Obviously, when the game starts, it's gonna play out like there has been only one of those two.
Yeah, for sure.
But it just the option of playing with both of them, or at least choosing one of them, it just really bugs my mind.
Hmm.
And it's an RPG, which is completely different genre from what Assassin's Creed was. But this is just the evolution of Assassin's Creed, and it's being very positively received from the
Oh
new
yeah.
players of Assassin's Creed.
Oh, if they gain lots of people but lose, they lose
The
some of
old
the
player,
yeah the old
they
players
lose the
exactly.
old yeah, they
They
lose the
lose
old
like the
players, but they
people
gain new players.
maybe that have the history with every game beforehand
Yeah,
before that, but
but that's the thing with Assassin's Creed Origins, you basically begin the story anew. So I personally feel like Origins and Odyssey are the beginning of a completely new Assassin's Creed storyline, which I'm completely fine with because new people get to experience what I experienced, but in a different way.
that is true. That is true. Maybe they're starting a new a new part of their legacy, a
Indeed,
different
indeed,
chapter. So oh well, what are we gonna do about it? And just
indeed, indeed. I have a question for you. Have you played any of the Resident Evil games?
uh, I've watched them being played, but I never got to playing them on my own. I'm not
Ah, okay,
scared.
because
Not
yeah,
just saying,
well,
not
I'm
scared.
scared.
But I've watched the
How are you?
gameplays.
Have you played any horror games?
Well, oh, that's a question, which is trying to take me out of nowhere. But yeah, I've played a couple of horror games. Um, didn't we play together the what was this name called? Um, no, Until Dawn.
Yeah, Until Dawn. I think we played it
We
together.
played it together.
I played it with my girlfriend, but I
Yeah,
cannot remember
yeah. I
if we
think
played
we
it
played
together.
it together as well.
Quite
Cause
possibly, quite possibly.
yeah, Until Dawn. That wasn't a bad game, to be honest.
It was a pretty good game with a very interesting storyline.
Yeah, it was, and I think that was one of like the first bigger games which gave you the opportunity to choose. To choose
Yes,
what
I think Until
happens.
Dawn was one of the games that revolutionized the butterfly effect.
Yeah. Also, Alien Covenant. That
Ah,
was a great game. So many jump scares. I'm not
wait,
gonna lie.
Alien Isolation.
Isolation. Yeah, excuse me.
Yes.
Covenant was the movie.
Yeah, Covenant was the movie.
Yeah, Covenant was the movie. Yeah, but I've played games on the PlayStation 2 back in the day, like Silent Hill 2. That was
I never played Silent Hill actually.
ah, you know,
I know a lot of characters from the Silent Hill series, but I haven't played it myself.
I
For
mean,
example, I know the Pyramid Head guys
yeah.
things.
Back in the day, the game was great. I'm not gonna lie. When I first got it, I was pretty young, so it just looked cool. And you know, which kid doesn't get a game because it looks cool? You
Definitely.
turn the game back, you see the pictures, and you're like, oh yeah, that's definitely cool. I'm getting it. But then what happens when you like play it at night? Oh my god, no.
Ah.
You
I mean, when I was
yeah.
little, even if I played it during the day, I was like, no, 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 no,
Oh
no.
yeah.
I
I
cannot.
think like when you play horror games at night, I think you get another level of
Yeah, it just adds up to the difficulty of the game.
exactly no and difficulty and the jump scare.
Definitely.
Because
Like,
when you get jump scared, you look around, everything is dark. You get
yeah,
poof,
you just start hearing things behind you, you know?
yeah.
And especially with a game like Amnesia, for example, where
Oh,
it's
Amnesia back in
famously
the day,
one
that
of
was a
the
great game.
best horror games ever to be released.
Yeah, that's true.
After you finish playing it, if you played it during the night, you just hear everything.
Oh
You're
yeah,
just so
you look
scared of
around,
that
you're
monster.
confused.
Yeah, you're just so scared of that monster knocking at your door and like, hello, can I eat you?
Yeah, pretty
It's
much.
it, it
That's
it's so scary.
that is true.
And,
That's true.
and I remember when Slenderman, the first game
Oh,
that was widely popular
that was an
when it
awesome game.
released. Yeah, it was a really awesome game. But now that I look at it, especially from a student that's been learning for 2 years how to develop games, it was such a simple game.
Yeah.
And still, back then, it was so scary because
Oh yeah, you
there
don't
wasn't a
expect
game
it.
like
The
this
jump
anymore.
scares
Yeah,
and everything.
there wasn't a game like it until that point.
That is true.
There was no game that the obviously the enemy was following you in such a way
Yeah,
that Slenderman did,
that is true.
and it really added to the creepiness the horrible sound when you looked at him, like the distortion of the screen and the high pitched noises of you dying
Oh yeah,
basically.
yeah, and yeah. But the goal was to collect 7 pages,
And I think you died in the end
and then you
anyway.
die. Yeah, no matter what. Spoiler alert: you die. If anybody hasn't played the game, I'm really sorry, but yeah, you collect all the pages, and you'd think like, oh, something magical happens. No, you just die.
Yeah, that was a really anticlimactic
That
ending,
is true.
to be honest.
Okay, I'm gonna throw this out there. Five Nights at Freddy's.
Five Nights at Freddy's, I never won that game. I always lost. I am
Did you
completely.
like get scared or anything? Like there was some jump scares.
Yes, there were jump scares, but the problem with me was that I'm completely terrified of dolls and puppets and stuff.
Yeah.
Because my little sister, well, she's not as little as she was 3 years ago, but she had this porcelain. I think that's the material. I can't
Yeah.
remember. Yeah, so she had this porcelain doll, and it was the most horror-looking doll I've ever seen. Like it was literally Annabelle. It was as scary as Annabelle.
Yeah.
And basically, this doll, my sister, one decides that she's gonna leave it around the house when she stops playing it. And for example, I go out to go to the family room, and the doll is just lying there in the corridor,
Just
and
waiting.
I just shat my pants, and I just slowly turned around and noped into my room,
I think I
and
think
I didn't eat that night. I absolutely hate dolls.
I think that might have been the best decision you've made.
Definitely.
Not to go
I'm
there.
sure I was just gonna die right there and then.
Oh, yeah. Horror games are great. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm
Yeah,
a big fan of horror games and horror movies as well, and everything in the horror genre.
definitely.
Also,
And
the
after
Evil
after
Within,
the
that
play,
was a great game.
the evil within, I can't remember what it was. I remember it. Wait, there was an evil within 2 released. I think at the beginning of the year.
Recently,
Yeah, I think
yeah,
it was at the beginning of the year
yeah.
or at the end of the previous year. I can't remember.
I think so. Yeah, there was a second one released, but but the first one, the original one, that was a good game.
Yeah, I wanted to get the second one because it looked really good,
Mm-hmm.
and at that point, I haven't heard about the evil within the first game.
No, really, it was such a huge
Yes,
game. I think
I
everybody
I
at
don't remember.
IGN rated it high. Like I think it got like nearly a 9, but out of 10. But I don't think. Well, which game gets? I don't think there is a game that has a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
To be honest, like
Speaking of horror games, Death Stranding is bound to release in the near
in
future.
the
By near
unknown
future, I
future.
mean a couple of years near, like 1, 2, maybe 3, maybe 4 years
Yeah.
when it's released.
I
Are you excited about Death Stranding?
To be honest, I saw the trailer back when it came out, and I'm a big fan of the character who Norman Reedus plays, who's from The Walking Dead. If anybody watches it, the main
Yeah,
character. Yeah,
I can't
I'm a
remember.
big fan of him. So I was really excited when I saw the game because it looked totally awesome. But it's exclusively for PlayStation 4, so I'm gonna think about that.
So you're gonna have to come and play it at my place.
Or hopefully the new consoles will have
Hopefully,
backwards
hopefully,
compatibility, which everybody wants.
indeed.
Yeah,
I,
but
on the other
it
part,
looked
am
great.
very excited about it because of Mads Mikkelsen.
Mm.
I'm a massive Mads Mikkelsen fan. Ever since I saw him in Hannibal,
Yeah, oh,
I
yeah.
am a really massive Mads Mikkelsen fan.
No,
And when I originally saw the teaser trailer, which was I think at E3
2 years ago
2000, yeah,
or
I
3.
can,
I think.
yeah, even I can't remember. Maybe it was 2016,
Yeah,
maybe it was
it just might have been.
2015.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe
It was a
2016.
while back
Yeah.
ago. and
but
I
it's
got
set to
really
release
excited because
this
it
year.
looked so good. It looked so
It
good.
did. It does. I don't know. I really don't want to get my hopes
Yeah,
very
you can
high up.
never be
So
too safe these days.
yeah, because the past like 3 or 4 games which I have been really hyped for, have not delivered in any way whatsoever. But
Yeah.
let's have our fingers crossed. You know, this year, a new year, a new beginning. You know, Anthem, just scratch that. You know, never happened,
Yep.
sadly. But you know, Death Stranding, please. You know,
And as we're still on the topic, I think it's this year or next year that uh, I forgot the name of the game.
please tell me
Another
Cyberpunk.
horror like
Oh,
game. We talked about it before we started the podcast
did I?
with Ellie and the
Oh,
zombies
you mean
and
The Last of Us, the
yeah, The
second
Last of
part.
Us
Yeah,
2.
yeah,
Thank you,
yeah,
thank you.
yeah.
So yeah, are you excited about The Last of Us 2?
I played bits of the first game, and to be honest, I liked it. I enjoyed it, but I don't know. I haven't watched the trailers and everything that's released, you know, because they still don't have a release date. But
Yeah.
I like the first one, so I have some high hopes for the second part. So let's say I don't know. I'm really I have another game which is holding, you know, my top spot for hype, you know, at my hype meter at the moment. But what do
And
you
that
think about
is?
the Last of Us 2?
Oh, so The Last of Us, I personally played a very little part of the first game,
Mm,
but I have a lot of friends that have played the whole game, and so far I haven't heard anything bad about it.
yeah,
Everyone praised it. Everyone was really excited when the second game was announced,
yeah,
and I vividly remember when I watched the release trailer at E3 where Ellie is singing and playing the guitar. The moment that the camera panned and zoomed and onto Ellie, I remember vividly the whole crowd just started applauding. It started shouting from excitement. It
yeah.
was an amazing feeling.
You know,
So
the gaming
the
community is awesome.
crowd is hyping me. People are hyping me. I hope they do not pull me into something really bad because because I tend to follow the monkey ways of people liking something and then I'm following and then I'm disappointed.
Yeah, that has been pretty much a while now. A couple of
Indeed,
games
indeed.
have done that to you, and I'm really hoping that this next game that still has no release date, and you know it's just thrown out there, but CD Projekt Red Cyberpunk 2077.
Yes, there obviously we could not
Heavy
have
breathing.
skipped Cyberpunk 77.
Heavy
This
breathing.
is probably the most hyped game this year.
Yeah, after Anthem, yeah, definitely. I think everybody's been hyping Cyberpunk ever since the
2012 when they originally released that
yeah, pretty
teaser
much.
trailer because it's been in development for 7 years and everyone is expecting the game to be an absolute hit.
Pretty
I'm
much.
expecting it to be an absolute hit.
I mean, from what we've seen from gameplay videos and that, it looks promising. But as you know, we've talked until now, many videos and trailers and gameplays haven't really lived up to the expectations. So I'm really crossing my
Yes.
fingers. I'm really hoping that this game, you know, is as good as they want it to be. Because
Indeed. So I love to follow games. I love to follow. I mean, the a few games that are bound to be released at a date. I tend to follow any leaks. I tend to follow any new information about games. And Cyberpunk 77, I followed a lot in the beginning when they originally announced it. I think last year
yeah,
when it was
I
the
think
first gameplay
I think
trailer.
it was last year. Yeah,
Yes, so I started following a lot of the information they gave out, and I stopped around 3 months, maybe 4 months ago. So I don't know the information that released recently because I know there has been.
yeah. I Maybe I
But
think so. Yeah.
from what I know and from what I've watched, because I've watched the same gameplay videos that were released, I've watched them several times, looking through everything because I want to know everything. Because Cyberpunk is obviously gonna be this massive branching story game.
Let's hope so.
Yeah, let's hope so. So I am really, really excited to feel that RPG feel in a first-person game.
That
Speaking
is
of
true.
which, Cyberpunk's no, not Cyberpunk, sorry, CD Projekt Red's The Witcher series,
Oh,
probably one of the most successful series of games
that
in
is
the
true.
world,
The Witcher 3.
especially The Witcher 3,
Yeah,
definitely.
that was.
I think you haven't played it, if
I
I
actually did.
recall correctly.
I
Oh, you
played it,
have?
yeah, on PC. Yeah. Well, it was great. Though I haven't played the previous two games, so
I haven't played the first and the second
yeah.
one as well.
So
And the
I just
third
played
one
this
I
one and I
played a
really
lot.
loved the game. I fell in love with it.
Yeah, I think CD Projekt Red is probably one of the last like defenders of the AAA
Oh yeah,
games.
the
Like
good ones.
current, yeah, because currently the big three like Activision, EA, and Bethesda are rapidly going down the drain.
Pretty much.
They're sinking ships.
Yeah.
Ubisoft is up there,
It's
but
somewhere
they
there, you
haven't
know.
done anything bad.
Yeah.
So they're just releasing amazing
Yeah.
games like Beyond Good and Evil.
Yeah.
I can't remember games that are gonna release from Ubi
Also,
anytime
Rockstar,
soon.
they're keeping their cool.
Yeah, Rockstar are keeping their cool, but everyone is hating them for Red Dead
Yeah,
Redemption
Red Dead
2. But
Redemption
I
2. Yeah,
guess,
but
but
you
I
know,
guess
if you
that's
look at their other parts, like Grand Theft Auto, everybody just
yeah,
loves
that
Red
is
Dead,
true.
so
That is true. That is true.
I don't
People
think you can fuck
nowadays,
up that, the whole
yeah,
series.
people nowadays are really easily criticizing everyone for doing the slightest mistake because of EA
Oh, yeah,
and Bethesda and
pretty much.
Blizzard and Activision. Like, there's a lot of big companies that
That's true.
basically transform the entire gaming industry into a place where not having loot boxes is an incredible feature of a game.
Yeah, it's not, having loot box system is not a feature. It's a given
it's
now. But then
it's
not having,
it's
a
is a
loot box
feature.
system, that's a feature. Well, where have we
Yeah,
come to?
I'm not sure what's going on.
Wasn't the new Spider-Man game very hyped? But then,
Yeah, the new Spider-Man game was very hyped. I personally haven't heard a lot of things about it. Like, I know that people find it to be really fun. I personally loved it because I can't remember the game that I played when I was young, but there was a similar game to this Spider-Man where you could just swing with webs around the whole New York
I think
City.
everybody just wanted a game where you could just swing around as Spider-Man.
Definitely, definitely.
I think you
But it
didn't
was so
need to
weird
do
because there
anything
was
else.
the Avengers Towers, the Avengers
Well,
Tower
they
in the game.
connected it with the new series of movies, so I think
Yeah, but there
tried
was
to make
no
it as well.
Avengers. Anyway,
That's true, but they were off somewhere
True.
fighting. Who knows?
I personally found it really, really nostalgic because it brought back a lot of memories with in-game stuff as well as gameplay stuff. Because the last Spider-Man game I played was very, very similar to this one.
No. I think the last Spider-Man game I played, which I owned. So I've played a couple of Spider-Man games back on PlayStation 2 back in the day when they were quite
Yep.
big. But
Yep.
the last Spider-Man game which I owned was I think it was the first Spider-Man game on PlayStation 1, which was the one where you could go and swing around. That was I used to have a
Yeah,
blast
that
back
was
in the day.
pretty fun. Yeah, that was pretty fun.
You could swing
lot
around
of
until you had to recharge your web slinger.
yeah, yeah.
was
Oh, I'm
pretty
so glad that this game doesn't have any recharges and it
Oh yeah,
doesn't
that was
use.
back in the day. That was
Yeah.
a long time ago.
A lot of games currently are receiving remastered versions. For example, Assassin's Creed 3, Warcraft 3.
Yeah, they
I can't remember.
also
Well-
they did what was this game? I really can't remember the name. Oh, was it Borderlands maybe? I think so.
Borderlands, I think, is getting a new game
Yeah,
completely.
yeah, it is getting a new game, but I think they remastered the second one.
Oh, quite possibly.
No,
Quite
I'm not sure.
possibly. No, I think it's the third one they did.
Yeah,
Oh, people
might as
don't,
well.
don't take our word for it. We
Yeah,
have
true.
no idea of
I really
Borderlands.
haven't played the game. I've just
Both of
you
us
know.
haven't played Borderlands once.
Yeah, that's true.
We do have a friend who has played Borderlands, and we would love him to be on the podcast. But unfortunately, whilst we are recording this and streaming this, he is
Not
long
available.
time asleep. Yeah.
And that, yeah. But I think in overall the gaming industry, it's headed in a good way. Like we can't forget the game we played last summer, which you have different opinions towards my, you know,
Ah,
my gameplay, but that's the
yeah.
point of the game. But games that allow you to do what you want, well, give you a choice. That's like
Branching stories.
branching stories, which has multiple endings. I think that's, I don't know. I really enjoyed that type of game.
Indeed.
So
And
yeah,
the game you're referring to is Detroit Become Human.
which was actually a phenomenal game.
It was an incredible game indeed.
It,
It has so many endings.
yeah,
It has so many endings.
that is true. You could end the
I-
game like very
So
quickly, like, in
early,
your
yeah.
first couple of minutes.
Yeah,
Or
you could just end the game.
Branch out the whole story. It's,
Indeed.
I don't know. It was a great game. We had some differences because we played it with 3 different people. So if anyone hasn't played it, the game has 3 characters. So what we did was everybody had a character that plays, and they did their own decisions. So that was 3 different types of decisions into one game, which kind of maybe broke the whole thing. But we ended up with an ending, which I don't think we were that proud of. But you know,
I
it was fun.
personally, because the way I didn't play when 3 different people played the same game. I already had played it, so I was just watching. And I personally, from a spectator's point of view, absolutely loved the gameplay I was watching because it was in the most honest way this game could have been played, because there are 3 different characters in game and 3 different people played each character individually. So that made it that so every character was an actual individual. So the choices made were incredibly individualistic.
Yeah. Yeah, but pretty much we played it with 3 different people, and we got something totally different to what you had.
Yeah, you got the completely opposite ending, I think.
But having to see that and having to see 3 different people think like 3 people in game with the choices you get was pretty awesome. Not gonna lie, the game was
Indeed.
great. Even if we didn't get the best ending, I really enjoyed playing it. It was fun, like seeing everybody just when a single person makes like a decision and that breaks the whole story down. Watching everybody break down was one of the best things you could live through. I don't know.
Indeed.
It was pretty cool.
Another type of genre that you personally do not really like and I love is MMORPG, and in specifically Guild Wars 2, for which I
You adore that
desperately
game.
tried. Yeah, I absolutely adore that game, and I desperately tried to convince you to play with me for around several years, and now you've finally accepted the fact that you will play eventually when we start playing again.
Yeah, which I'm not having my high hopes on, but the last time you made me play a game, some things changed. I'm not gonna specify what, but things changed, and I'm a different man
True.
right now because of that. In a good or a bad way, it doesn't matter. I'm here
In
where I
the
am now.
best way
Oh
possible.
yeah, agree, definitely agree. Yeah.
So, we're talking a lot about video games, but me and you, we both love board games as well.
Yeah.
So, a lot of times when me and Matthew go back at our home country, we usually go to a board game bar, which with a couple of friends. And I wanted to ask you, from all of the board games we have played thus far, which one is your favorite?
Which one? Um, okay, I have a top two, and
Mm-hmm.
so I'll put one of them just above the other. So the top two, one is called Little World or Small World.
Small
Small
World.
World, yeah, yeah. And the other one was called Mysterium.
Yeah.
So I'm actually gonna put Small World a little bit ahead because everybody gets to play and nobody like, so in Mysterium, there is a ghost, so that's a different player, and I think that it's more fun if everybody gets to play.
Is involved,
Yeah, is
yes.
involved in the game. So that's why I put Small World in.
Fair
A
enough,
little
fair
bit.
enough. And in Small World, it's really really fun to see how everyone plays their tactics with the different races.
Yeah.
For the people that have not played Small World, you basically get a field, a map.
Yeah.
And on this map, there are different tiles. There are mountain tiles, there are ocean tiles, plains, farmlands, and so on and so on. And there, every single player plays with a different race. They choose a race from a stack of many races. And for example, I can be orcs, and Matthew can be thieves or skeletons or trees. And every single race has its own special ability. And the goal of the game is to control as many territories as possible because at the end of each round, you get coins for each territory you occupy. And then after using, for example, one of the race's effects, you get bonus coins. In the end goal is to have the most coins in the game.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting to see how every single person in the game chooses their races and how they play with them.
Yeah, it was funny the first couple of rounds, but when you're playing with your close friends, and it's all fun and games.
It
Everybody
is
make
really fun.
factions, and so it's funny because uh, so there are set rules, but then when you play with friends, you always set another set of rules. Like you can't join together or stuff like that. We don't have those type of rules. We just play all for one for all, or we just gang up on somebody because we know they're gonna win. But then it ends
Yeah.
up that somebody from us has just lied and just pretends that he's gonna lose so he can just win. But that's the fun part, of playing with
Yeah, it is
close people.
really, really funny.
Yeah, but Mysterium is also a great game.
Yes, Mysterium is it has a lot more thinking put
Yeah,
no and
I think.
actually now that I think about it, it doesn't have that much thinking. It has a lot of luck,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it really really depends on who is the ghost.
that is true. If you're stuck, if you have no luck, which me and Jay mostly don't have, we don't have good luck. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes,
We don't have luck.
yes, yes, yes.
So most of the times we just end up together at the first level, and everybody's done already.
Yeah.
And
So for
yeah,
for the people who have no idea what Mysterium is, there is basically it's played from 7 people, I think. One is playing the ghost, who has been recently killed in a mansion. The rest of the players play as mediums, whose job is to help the ghost pass on to the light by uncovering the mystery behind his murder. So the ghost has the idea of giving the ghost player gives cards to the rest of the players, and the rest of the players using the cards have to guess 3 different things. They have to guess the person who killed the ghost, the place where the ghost was killed, and the weapon with which the ghost was killed. And in the end, the ghost decides one of the combinations, because every single player has a different set of murder, place of murder, and murder weapon. The ghost in the end chooses one of those combinations, and everyone has to guess which one the ghost has chosen. So the game can really, really depend on the ghost player because sometimes the ghost player is not helpful
Yeah.
at all.
Or you're just not lucky like me and Jay.
Yeah, because you have a specific set of cards you can give the mediums
Yeah.
if you're the ghost, and if there is nothing you can give to the medium, well, you're basically,
You're just praying that they'll,
yeah, you're
luck
just playing
out.
that they'll know because you have to give them a new card every single round.
Yeah.
And there are 7 rounds of the game which are basically the 7 hours the
That are left.
mediums have.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a fun game though. I think
indeed, indeed.
you guys should, if you haven't played it, you should pick it up. It's a great game.
Another board game we played when we gathered up the first time at my uh, house on the beach. It was Legends of Andor,
Oh my god.
which is basically an RPG board game.
That okay. So if you have a friend that already owns the game and has played it, never trust them because we played the game with 3 people, and as Jay already owned the game and you know he's played it before, he has a sense of what he has to do in order to win. Me and another person who have no concept of the game, have no idea what we're doing. We're just listening, because we have no idea how to play. We just want to know what you have to do, how you do it, and how to win. So okay, I'll just a quick disclaimer here. In that game, Andor, the most OP class is Mage. Spoiler. I'm saying it for every poor soul that hasn't played the game and is thinking on playing it. Yep, you take Mage. But as me and another friend had no idea about that, we listened to Jay, and Jay said, "Oh no, Mage is like the most useless class. That's why I will take it," laughing, you know. So we let him, and he just destroyed us. But oh well.
Well, technically, I didn't destroy you because the game is cooperative.
Yeah,
So
but you
I
won
was
in the
just
end.
the most. Yeah, so I was just I had the most.
Yeah, that was so.
But
Yeah, it was. You didn't
me
really
and my
like.
girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, you did. You pretty much destroyed us. You played together, but then at the end, the person with the most points wins. So yeah.
No, it's still cooperative.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you both guys made this rule that in the end, whoever had the most coin basically won.
Well.
Anyway,
Yeah.
me and my girlfriend really love this game, and for people who are thinking about playing it, go ahead. It is a lot of fun, and definitely there are several legends, which each legend is basically a storyline, and the more people playing the game, the harder the game is. So if you guys have a lot of friends that wish to go and play board games, go play Andor. You're gonna have lots of fun.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun. It was fun. I'm not gonna lie. Though
And
I have
definitely.
another thing which I think we could just squeeze in. Another type of game which we enjoy playing when we're like a lot of people together, which was the interactive games with your mobile phone, which was That's You
Oh,
and
yeah.
Knowledge is Power,
Yeah, definitely.
which
Those
are
are very, very
PlayStation
fun
games.
games.
Yeah. If you're having like a party with people and
You're wondering what to do, you can basically play a couple of rounds of That's You and Knowledge is Power.
Yeah, they're a great game. So it's like you have your phone as a remote control, so everybody would have a remote control. You wouldn't have to switch around, and you'd play trivia questions, like from anything you could think of. You could draw things. You can answer anything you want. Really, it's just a great, a great time, to be honest. It's fun when
Yeah,
you're more
it's a
people.
lot of fun.
Yeah.
So I think we're planning on doing this summer is playing tabletop, which a lot of people can probably say that they love tabletop because of Dungeons and Dragons, for example, or Warhammer, because those are the two most like famous tabletops. And you, Matthew, aren't really keen on it.
To be honest, yeah, I'm not. you can say I'm not really keen on it.
Yeah, but
I'm
I
not
have
excited.
played. Yeah, but I have played a cyberpunk themed tabletop, and it was an amazing experience. And for people who have no idea what a tabletop is, basically you have one person who is the dungeon master. He creates a story from his imagination, and he leads players through this story. And everything is interactive. For example, if I'm the dungeon master and Matthew is a player, and Matthew currently resides in a room full of skeletons that are attacking him. Matthew can say, for example, I am trying to slash all the skeletons with a single swing while my eyes are closed. And then I'm telling him that he has to roll a die, for example, a die with 20 sides. And if he gets a 15 or higher number, he completes the act. Something good will happen. And he does it. And then me, as a dungeon master, I start imagining everything. And I say, you close your eyes, you imagine the force coming in your arms, you grab your massive axe, and you start swinging. You feel every bone of each skeleton you hit, completely obliterating them. Then you open your eyes, and in front of you is just a pile of skeletons, which turns into one massive skeleton. And this is tabletop for those of you that do not know. And I personally am very excited for, and I'm gonna drag Matthew into it,
Oh,
even though he's not as excited as me.
yeah. No. So okay. What I'm hoping is that we have a dungeon master with a very, very, very big imagination. Because sometimes people don't have the biggest and
Definitely.
brightest imagination, so you think of something less interesting. That's maybe partially why I'm not that keen. And to be honest, I'm not really keen on Dungeons and Dragons.
Definitely, definitely.
But that's just me. So
So we've already reached the hour mark, and we can keep going for games, both tabletop, board games, and video games. We can basically talk about these parts of our personal worlds for a
all
long
night, yeah,
time.
I'd
We
assume.
can talk we can talk all night. We
Yeah.
can talk all day about it. But we're going to leave to you guys. If you have any questions to ask us, leave them either in the comments below of the YouTube video, or you can always ask us on the next stream we're going to have, which currently has no particular date
That is true.
because I'm going to be gone for a week or so. But the next theme is going to be really interesting. We're not going to spoil it yet, but if you follow us on Twitter at Unintended,
Woohoo! Caption.
uh, yes, you can always come and speak to us. You can always talk to us. You can always see where we are, and we're very very close to actually uploading stuff to SoundCloud. So
Yeah, that is true.
we're gonna announce on our Twitter at unintended
So be sure to follow us there if you want to
at
keep up with
unintended
if you want to keep up with us whenever we're always posting when we're gonna stream. We link our YouTube videos if you have missed um, the stream or you enjoy listening to our podcasts in your car or wherever. So we're
We're
always
doing our best as well to put the podcast on Spotify so you can listen to the
yeah,
podcast
Spotify and
even if you're
iTunes. We're still
offline.
working on that.
Yeah, we're
But
still
yeah,
working on that.
it's
It's gonna take some time, guys.
yeah. But
Anyway, this is gonna be at the end for today's episode. Thank you so much for watching and listening, of course, because obviously you're probably gonna want to listen to this, not watch it. So maybe I should have just said, thank you so much for listening, guys.
yeah, thank you. Hope you
And
enjoyed it.
both me and Matthew are gonna see you in the next one. And thank you very much.
Thank you guys.
Are we gonna try to?
Okay, let's okay.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah, this one
It
was
It
better.
was good. It was good. Okay.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah.